This didn't feel like just a common follow-up, just trying to get Oscar noms.
Drive-by movies, you're watching
Fresh releases.
My name's Blaise.
And I'm James.
And this week, we're talking the Netflix original, Ballad of a Small Player.
It'd take a miracle to change a man like me.
Ballad of a Small Player stars Colin Farrell, and it's about his past and death starting to catch up with him. A high-stakes gambler laying low, and Macau encounters a kindred spirit who might just hold the key to its salvation. So, going into this movie, I kind of knew nothing about it other than it's just the director of Conclave's next flick, and made its way onto Netflix, of course, too. Colin Farrell has been doing some great movies over the last, decade, I'd say, just kind of focusing on smaller roles, more dramatic roles as well, too. And, still playing comedic roles, too, or crime roles in, superhero movies as well. But just, he's kind of had an interesting turnaround with the movies that he's focused on. And with this movie, he showcases a fun, crazed persona of Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems, basically. But movie goes in a very different direction that I just did not expect. A almost fantastical element. Blaise, what are your thoughts coming out of this movie?
I would say I enjoyed this movie a lot. I just wish it dug more into that fantastic element, because I thought it's all there, but from the trailer I definitely got the vibe that it was going to be even kind of more fantastical and more spiritual almost. But it feels like they kind of played it safe at times. I think that there's a lot of technical elements in this film that are very interesting, like the cinematography, the set designs, and obviously the setting of Macau.
The setting is definitely what kind of elevates this movie from the rest of any kind of movie that sets up kind of casino or high stakes gambling. The movies that I think of when it comes to gambling, I guess, are of course Uncut Gems, just because that's one of the more recent movies. I think of Rounders with Edward Norton and Matt Damon, but that's kind of underground in the basement of some random bar kind of gambling. But this movie really utilizes not just you would have thought a movie like this would have took place in Vegas or something, or old school downtown Vegas, the Fremont district. But no, this movie takes place in China, and just seeing the crazy lights that we've seen in movies Casino, or not Casino Royale, but the other one that takes place in Shanghai. Believe that one was called Skyfall. Yeah, Skyfall. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of mainstream American movies use the beauty of China and it's top of the line technology that we see, but also just some of the old style buildings that we see also within this movie just are captured very well. Conclave wasn't really the prettiest looking movie, but the narrative is what carried it. Whereas this movie, I'd say overall it's more the style that carries this movie. It is still an interesting enough story, but yeah, definitely its set pieces are a big part of it, and a lot of these crazy dream sequences. I went completely blind, so I didn't expect this kind of element to kick in. There is a lot of stuff that's over the top kind of in terms of visualization early on in the movie, but it isn't really till 30-45 minutes though where we get into this more fantastical element. And so it caught me off guard, but still generally I thought was moved by this movie, I'd say, despite it not getting the best reviews, surprisingly.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that. I don't think it's the worst movie. I think just a lot of people expected something more from Edward Berger, just coming off the backs of Conclave. Just that was a movie that was at the Academy Awards. I don't feel like it won that much that year, but it was one of those movies where people thought it was gonna kind of almost sweep the Oscars. But it just feels like this was a different approach from. I don't think it was wildly different, but it was just it didn't feel like it was the natural follow-up to a movie like Conclave that's a little bit more reserved, where this is definitely, like you said, more fantastical. It definitely has more exaggerated elements to it, and I feel like this was just kind of an interesting take for him to do for his next project, because it doesn't pigeonhole him to be like the only kind of like Academy Awards bait kind of guy. Because even though we both really like Conclave, that could be deemed in a way as like an Academy Awards bait style movie, but I do think it was much better than those types of movies like Imitation Game or those awards bait style, like kind of almost back in the day, like Weinstein Company would always do those like awards bait movies that wouldn't win anything but would be nominated for every single category.
And yeah, might get like one Oscar win for like the you know, legacy actor who they haven't done a lot in a long time, but they're a name that we all recognize, and it's like, let's give them the Academy Award because they probably won't ever get it again or something. But yeah,
like
this
Adrian
movie...
Brody in I forget the movie's name, but last year I feel like that was the awards bait movie.
Yeah, which is funny because he already had his award too. I'm not sure if Colin Farrell has his award yet. I mean, it's rightly due eventually. I don't know if this is the movie that I'd say, but he gives it his all within this movie. He shows like, you know, different levels of just like whether it's paranoia, comedic, but also serious within this movie too. You know, whether or not this movie worked for everyone, I kind of just love the premise of just it like swinging for the fences. I know it's based off of like, I believe a book, maybe it was a short story, but I know that it's an adapted screenplay essentially. But I really appreciate just the, you know, like this didn't feel like just a common follow-up just trying to get Oscar noms. Like maybe it was, but it feels along the lines of like Babylon, which is still a movie I'm surprised also got bad reviews, but is slowly not getting a cult following, but is slowly like a lot of people are coming out like showing how appreciative they were of that movie and how different it is and unique it was. And, you know, this movie, while I didn't enjoy it as much as Babylon, like I am one who actually really enjoyed that movie when it came out and was surprised that nobody else liked it. I have kind of the same sentiments with this movie, but just didn't enjoy it as much as Babylon. But they are two very different movies, though, also, granted.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the movie that was like misunderstood by critics and audiences alike. I feel like it'll kind of just be forgotten about, but that might just be a Netflix problem. Because I even think that there are other like major releases that Netflix has done that people have entirely forgotten about altogether, because they eventually just get hidden in the algorithm to where it's never on like the public conscious anymore. So I feel like this is more so that, but I don't think this movie will even make it to Christmas in the sense of like surviving the Netflix algorithm. I think it's just gonna get hidden unless this is like you watch Casino or like other gambling style movies or movies where gambling was like the setting, then maybe this might be recommended after you finish a movie at the very bottom of the screen. But other than that, yeah, this is probably going to be forgotten about for the most part. But I think there's a lot to be enjoyed in the setting. Obviously, Macau is not really a setting I feel like we get in a lot of Western movies. And to me, it was all like news. I'm like, oh, this is basically just like a Chinese Las Vegas, but just everything is almost like bigger in a way. It was really cool setting for the movie. And like I said, the cinematography, the setting, all those like technical aspects are really exciting about the movie. But Colin Farrell's acting and like really bringing to screen this Lord Doyle character was probably the most interesting, and all the demons that he carries.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about Netflix kind of hiding this movie, like I believe this movie is only 2 weeks old at this point. I know Frankenstein, our review will come out for that later, but what's it called? That has just come out this past weekend at the time of this recording, and that's all over my screen, rightfully so. But I knew that Ballad of a Small Player was new, and I was like, it should be on my home screen. Granted, I dug myself into a hole by just not searching it. I knew it was on Netflix. I knew I could have just searched BA and it probably would have showed up right away. But I kept going to the homepage looking. I'm like, surely it's right here. Surely it's right here. I just hate pulling up the search bar because the search bar is slow and having to scroll around each letter on my remote. It's a no for me. It's like, I can't do it. I hate doing it. But just the fact that it wasn't on my home screen at all, then I had to go to movies and it still wasn't on the home screen of the movies. And even like, so like on the home screen, I keep seeing nonstop ads for the new season of Stranger Things. I'm like, I don't need a reminder. It's going to be on my home screen. Like it is already on my list. Like, why is it the first thing that shows up on my screen on Netflix? Like we're still like a few weeks away from that. So it's just annoying that a movie like this should be like kind of highly promoted. This should be a movie that they're trying to create some sort of Oscar buzz, but already after like a week and a half of it being out, maybe 2 weeks, like it's been buried. I couldn't find it. Like I eventually did have to give in and search for it, I believe. But yeah, it wasn't on the home screen, and it wasn't on the home screen for the movie page too. Like I had to dig around for a while. And it's just, that's ridiculous to me and wild.
I think also because this came out either the week before, the week after House of Dynamite, and then like a week later was Frankenstein. So it's just 3 major releases from Netflix, where we had a summer of them basically not releasing any major films. So it's like they just release everything all at once, which kind of bit them in the foot a little bit because everything just gets swept under the rug with them. But I will say, I do feel like just algorithms in general, they're like there to like, oh, this is going to make your life easier. Ultimately, it just makes everything harder because the algorithm just pigeonholes you of like, oh, you watch horror movies, you only like that, I'm only going to show you that, or whatever it is. Where it's like people like us like pretty much every genre of movie, and maybe we'll go through stints of like only watching this style of genre or this style of movie or follow this actor or director, and then the algorithm can't really kind of pinpoint on what we are, and it thinks we're this type of viewer, but you know, we're watching more than just Squid Game or the reality TV shows like Love is Blind, like, and it just thinks we're something different, you know. It's
right.
It's that whole thing. So I'd appreciate not being pigeonholed, but here we are. Algorithms just do it anyways.
So whether or not you're able to watch this movie on the home screen or not, or if you had to search it, I'm curious what your thoughts are on the movie. It's an exclusive to Netflix, so no Amazon affiliate link this week. But great way to help support the show. If you have a Netflix account, watch it. Or if you watch movies through 123 Movies, let us know what you thought about it in the comments down below.
And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and click that notification bell to get all of our latest updates.
And speaking of updates, catch all our social media links down below. We got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, also our own personal Letterboxd accounts. That's it for this week. Tune in next week for a brand new video.